Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Sorry about the long break, but here we are. So, you have just arrived. You are fresh off the boat
Indeed.
in White Shore. Just put you above the town for now. And we're going to say you are fresh off the boat. We come into game as you step off the boat in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
You are on this long, gorgeous white marble dock. Not marble, but white stone dock that just stretches out into the sea.
How old would I be coming out of Wizarding Academy?
Young.
Or
If you wanted to have attended early, you could be as young as like 16, but you probably would be like 18 or 20 getting out.
right.
Of
Right.
course, you could stay later and study more.
I think I'll. I was thinking probably quite young, actually. I feel like 17.
Okay.
Little patchy beard,
Yes, please.
bright eyes, and full of wonder.
Would you describe Georg physically for us?
It's about average build, so maybe like 5'10". He's like 180 centimeters. Maybe a little portly. Tousled brown hair, sort of scruffy beard, just sort of grown in. Flowing red robes and a staff, as well as a few small belongings, a spellbook, and a bag.
Very nice.
So what it describe for me this dock?
It is a long dock that juts out a few hundred feet into the ocean, made out of some sort of white stone. Down by the seaside, I guess, when you get to town, is a large wooden boardwalk that extends left and right. There are a few other smaller docks that look like they're mostly used for local people, while this large one is used for the big ships that come through this area while they swing around the cape. This area is pretty far from other segments of civilization. It is blocked off by a large mountain range. You do have a history proficiency.
I do not.
All right. Let's skip that then.
I've got astrology, engineering, religion, spellcraft, reading, writing, direction sense, swimming, blacksmithing.
Nice. Nice. The town is mostly nice stone buildings, also, or maybe not stone, maybe mud brick or something, but they have a white plaster all over them. There are some buildings back in the town that you can see from here that are more normal wooden buildings or normal stone buildings that don't have the plaster, but the seaside has this very nice facade to it. It is
Have I seen anything like this back home? Is this all
No, you
new to me?
probably left from Tide's End or some sort of large city where ships head west. This is pretty far. You must have taken like a month or 2 month journey by boat to get here. It would have been a very unpleasant experience for you along that ship.
Yeah.
Walking around are many people with large bronze collars around their necks, which, if you did any sort of research coming here before you left, you would have known are the symbol of slaves or indentured servants. Let's see, what else would you notice? It is a bustling day in White Shore. Looks like everything is up to normal. There's a little market down by on the boardwalk. There's people doing all sorts of trade and commerce, and as you stand on this dock and look out over the city. People that are getting off the ship behind you mutter to themselves and bump into you, saying, "Get out of the way, old man," or "Yeah, get out of the way, you young kid," and then grumble and, nudge into you as they push past, eager to get
I don't think
to
I paid them
solid
much
ground.
mind. I'm sort of probably in awe at these new sights, strange shoreline, and mysterious constructions.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like they've developed like stucco.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
All right, so
Maybe
I
not
walk
quite
amongst these
stucco.
docks. Did you say the dock was marble?
It's not marble. It is some sort of white stone, though.
Most peculiar. I ponder this as I tap it and stroll away from the dock into the city.
Okay.
Eyes open for a nice establishment to find something to eat.
It is a bustling little
my
town.
legs.
It doesn't look to be all that big, actually, but it is quite active during the day. It seems.
Mm-hmm.
As you push people around, and you're looking for, do you say a tavern?
Yeah, or maybe food open air. I probably haven't eaten. I've got rations listed, but
You
So
come
maybe that's-
across a tavern that has a sign hanging down from it with 3 seashells on it. There is no
yeah, unless there
name,
was food in the open air market, I'll probably.
There was definitely food. There was food being sold to like cook with, and then there was food being sold to eat right there, like street food. People with little grills frying up this and that, passing out strange meats that that are strangely or unusually seasoned. What's the term when you soak meat in something for a while?
Marinated.
Marinated in strange and unusual juices and herbs.
Ooh. So I guess I peruse the market for a while
Okay.
and eventually stumble into this 3-shelled tavern.
At the bar is a bronze-skinned slave. You recognize the collar around his neck pretty immediately. It seems that people are ordering drinks from him while the presumably proprietor sits in a chair beside the bar, kind of but looking out over into the area. So, how would you
So
say
do you
the
buy
bar
rumors
runs like?
from the proprietor or from the slave?
Excuse me?
Do you buy the rumors from the proprietor or the slave?
I don't know. You can try both. This is a new land. You are unfamiliar with its ways and customs, since you don't have a history proficiency.
I thought about it. I would have been pretty good at it too. I take a seat at the bar and look to the slave. A human?
It is a human. A
I think
very
pretentious-
bronze-skinned human.
In pretentious Elven, I will say, I would like some wine.
Nobody responds in any way, shape, or form.
Saying into common, wine please.
Yes, sir. Yes. He
Need to work on my German accent.
turns around,
Well,
opens
the
a little
Elven's
cask,
Slavic, but the Scandinavian.
opens a little, taps a little cask of wine and pours it into a mug for you, and hands it over. 2 silver, please, sir.
This is all very awkward. I don't anticipate getting any rumors from this slave here. Any leads. And I look somewhat concernedly to the 8 silver that remain in my hand
Uh-oh.
as I sip on this overpriced elven wine. I look over to the proprietor.
He's just gazing out over everyone. Eventually, he meets your eye contact and gives you a friendly nod.
Is he? I would have to like walk over to him. I think I'll stand up and stride over to him. Elven wine in my hand.
He stands to his feet as
At
you
least I
approach
think
him.
it's elven wine.
and says, "Good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon, perhaps. How may I be of your assistance?"
Why, I'm. Uh,
Yes?
I'm quite new to the land, and I could really. Perhaps you could recommend some of the. I hear innkeepers are always the best with recommendations on sights to see and adventures to be had.
Well, that's because everyone comes and talks to us and tells us their stories. We pretty kind of a catch-all for things, you know. Where exactly are you from?
East, across the sea.
Oh, you just arrived today?
Just this very instant.
Well, must have been a long journey. I hope you aren't too fatigued.
The journey gets shorter the faster you go. I'm
Yes, it does.
I'm
Anyway,
rested and legs are in need of stretching.
you were
I
asking
think
about some information? What is it you seek to
I
know?
ponder my wine. I saw your lovely coastline from the ocean, I said somewhat pretentiously. Perhaps you could recommend some sites to explore along the hills.
Well,
Ancient vistas.
I would recommend the town hall. It is a gorgeous building. If you've already come by way of sea, then you've seen the docks. Those are also gorgeous to behold. Let's see. Can you see the mountains from here? Could you see mountains 30 miles away?
Yes, depending how big they are, but yeah.
A couple thousand feet?
Yeah, you should be able to see that. I mean, depending on the how clear the day is.
Yeah. He says there's also the Great Mountain Range. That's wonderful to see. They usually don't have snow on the peaks of the mountains, but sometimes, if you get lucky and it's a cold winter or a wet winter, we'll get some snow up there. I wouldn't venture too close to them, though. Those sections of woods out there are pretty dangerous. All manner of nasty beasts crawl around them. So steer clear of the mountains, but the open plains are usually pretty fine. Hills are okay too. You know, if you're interested in wonders to behold, perhaps I could interest you in the Halfling Village that is to the southwest.
Ooh, I reply in halfling excitedly. Whew. Been looking for a place to brush up on my quick tongue.
I assume
Perhaps nibble on some local delicacies, crumpets and tea.
I presume that means you've already met the little folk.
Where is their village? I'll say in common.
Oh, it's about 20 miles or so as the crow flies. The road's a little bit longer since it winds through the hills. If you're ambitious, you can do it in a day. Some people prefer to break it up into 2 days, stay in one of the smaller villages along the way. Most people around here are pretty friendly. You probably won't find much of much in the way of taverns out there, or inns. Well, taverns, yes. Inns, no. So be ready to open your hearts and charm some people and ask to stay with them, or find a nice barn.
I have always been fond of horses. Still working on the accent.
It'll come. It'll come.
It'll come. It'll come. It'll come. I don't know. Okay. I think the bartender finished my wine and moves on out of there.
What are your objectives? What do you want to do? What are you here to explore?
I want power. Where are the magic items, Neo? Where are the epic quest leads?
On the tops of the mountains.
I bumble out west in search of the Sapling Village. What time of day is it when
It's about midday.
so I'm gonna get trapped out after dark? But I think I excitedly frolic out west of town into the plains.
Sure.
As a master of time and space, I have an excellent sense of direction. I don't know if that proficiency actually gets me, but
Okay. It is a wonderfully warm and dry day as you walk. You build up quite a little bit of lather on you as you huff your way through the open plains.
Lather?
Lather, like sweat.
yeah. Interesting choice of word.
I was trying to invoke the imagery of a horse being hot and sweaty.
I can't afford a horse.
Well, I know, but you are the horse. You are just like drenched in sweat.
I thought it was dry.
It is dry, but it is warm, and you're huffing it, hoofing it. You got these big robes too, so you're just like marching in. And you got how much do you have on gear? Do you carry on you?
Less than encumbered.
Okay.
Like 30 pounds of shit.
Yeah.
And a nice walking stick.
Nice.
So, into the plains in search of adventure.
Right.
Hopefully much gold.
There are some small trails and roads. They're not well built. They're mostly just like paths that you can take. They confer no movement bonuses of any kind. Mostly just like wagon ruts in the ground as people go from one place to another. And you can follow these southwest as you please.
I think I head west into the plains. I guess I don't necessarily have this map, but I think I'll avoid the trees and stick to the plains where the visibility's better and
Okay.
the air clearer, the sight clearer.
4 hours into your journey, you come across a cart that is stopped just in the road. You can see it from fairly far off. When you see it from about a mile out, you just see like this stationary cart. Takes you a few minutes to realize that it's not going anywhere.
I don't think I'm concerned unless I see something particularly out of the ordinary. So I keep pace and
Sure.
move towards the cart.
10 minutes pass and you get to fairly close to the cart. And you see in the back are 6 slaves with the big collars around them. It's just an open wagon. And they're all kind of sitting in the back looking at you fairly intently.
Why, hello, good sirs.
They
Is there
their
anyone
heads.
driving the cart? I assume.
No. It seems to be driverless. And as you approach the cart near the front, you see that the driver is laying down.
I approach the man, and without a healing proficiency, check his vital signs.
He is dead. He's kind of old. He's like 80 something probably. Definitely in his 80s. And he's just inclined on the...
Is this the second character in a row you just handed slaves to?
These slaves, if you look around and investigate them a little bit more, are chained to their cart. They cannot move. I mean, they can like stand up probably, but they're all stuck in the cart. They cannot escape.
I searched the man for a key.
You do indeed find a couple of keys on him, as well as his worldly possessions.
What are his worldly possessions?
35 gold and
What?
a letter.
Is this easy mode?
I don't know. It's 35 gold and a letter.
I take the. What does the letter say? I take the coin purse, shove it in my bag.
The letter says,
Open the letter.
Harold, we actually need 6 slaves instead of 4. Please do not come back with any less. I have enclosed extra cash for them, and they will be needed. Signed, Moran. Now you've got the question: do you let them go?
Yeah, it's an
Do you-
interesting emotional,
Yeah.
emotional, philosophical
What do you do
quandary
with
for such
slaves?
a young character. I circle back around the cart and go to look at them.
They look pretty hungry. The guy was also cold, so he'd been dead a while.
Yeah, what happened here? I say in common, seeing if they'll respond.
New master driving cart. He gasp in pain, clutch his side and lay down, and not get back up.
Are these guys human?
They are humans.
You have an interesting accent. I'm wondering where you are from.
I didn't open it. Oh my god, I didn't open it. I hail from Akuba.
I have never been. Well,
It is far from here.
and how, might I ask, did you wind up chained to this hunk of wood?
Master die. I am chained here. But if you mean how I become slave, I was once mercenary, engaged in a war. We lost and were thrown into slavery.
If I let you go, what will you do?
Can you remove collar?
Perhaps I can. I approach and start inspecting the collar.
It looks like it's held together with a nail, kind of a nail that's been driven through a section.
You said there was a key, though, right?
There is a key. The key looks like it goes to the lock that is chaining the collars to the middle of the cart, but the collar itself looks like it is nailed shut.
Fuck it, I let the slaves go. So I pulled the key out that I had
Hmm.
without saying anything to them, and undo their lock and see if I can undo the lock and remove the chain. Is that how it works? Like it's a deadbolt, and then you pull the chain.
Yep. Yep.
Liberate the slaves. Woo!
Your
Quest,
regular
quest
Lincoln.
accomplished. Experience, right?
Maybe. What they stand up, and the man that spoke to you earlier says, "What will you do with us?"
Well, I'm heading west. Would you like to join me? I hear there's halflings in those hills. Have you ever seen the small folk?
I have seen
They
many
have them where you're
halflings
from,
as
and
they
I saw-
died on my blade.
That's utterly horrifying. What did you say your name was?
My name is Reptar.
We broke D&D, Neil. All right.
There's nothing
I
wrong
start
with
walking
Reptar.
west towards the hills.
He's a good guy.
Reptar in tow, and maybe the other slaves. I mean, I don't know where they were headed or where they think they're going, but if they don't follow, I'll turn back and I'll
Well,
hoist my staff proudly in the air and say, "To the halflings!
are
To
you
the halflings!"
new
the halflings.
master? He asks slowly and tentatively.
Your old master was merely an illusion. Now he is dead, and back to the dust.
He turns to the other slaves, quickly berates them and whips them into shape, getting them to stand up and follow you in a single file line. He takes the back of the column, and if anyone starts to slow down, you can hear him yelling at them and slapping them around.
I'm a little uncomfortable about this, but I don't think I'm gonna interject. I think this whole awkward parade heads west into the hills.
Okay. A few hours pass, and you get near the base of the hills. Not quite there. It's another mile or so away when it looks like the sun is beginning to set.
These guys haven't eaten, have they?
6 slaves,
Alright, I
and
think
you
all
have
afternoon-
7 days of food.
You mean one day of food? I think I've been lecturing to Reptar all afternoon about. I don't know. I'm trying to convince him that he couldn't possibly have a master.
No, we have new master. You find us, and as they say, where I come from, finders keepers. Are you going to make slaves of the little folk too? They make most excellent cooks. Before I taken as slave, we have halfling cook in my home.
You guys are rather hungry, aren't you?
No. Slaves
No?
do not need food.
Really? It's getting dark, right?
Yes.
I think we stop and chop down or drag down some wood. Make a fire.
Yeah, you can find some brush around. Some of this and that. Get a little fire going. None of you have anything to sleep on.
I have flint. Oh yeah, I have flint and steel. So we get a fire going. I pass rations around. Do the slaves even take them?
If you pass them out, they will take them and eat them. Yes.
Yeah. I'll spend 6 of my. Oh, I'm the 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be all of my rations gone in one day. We're gonna have to rob these poor halflings.
You just robbed a dead man.
Oh wait, I have gold now. I can take these slaves back to town and buy us some nice food.
Or you could
we'll
sell
save this
them in town.
What's their price in the player's handbook?
Probably fairly expensive. Slaves are not cheap, man. They're probably on the order of 50 gold each.
You're horrible. Actually, I think yeah. This is old territory for dicing with death, isn't it?
You introduced the first slaves and the first slave market.
Oh no, we're terrible people and we're going straight to hell.
Yeah. You had me buying slaves in a jungle. Sold by evil gnolls.
So we make camp for the night.
Okay.
Slaves get a meal in them, and I babble on about the, I don't know, subjective nature of the universe and how they've always truly been free because we're really just, I don't know. We'll see. I'll work on the psychobabble.
Okay.
I'm a level 1 dimensionalist. I don't have all the answers yet. That night, is it stay warm and dry through the evening?
Yes. It does not rain.
Okay, so hopefully we'll be fine out here. We could keep trekking to the halflings and take them unawares.
At night or in the next day?
I think right now. Mind you,
This
Georg
morning, you mean?
is not scheming, but he's been on a boat. His legs are stiff. I'll say after dining and warming by the fire, I will stand up abruptly and say to Reptar, So shall we head into these hills?
We go
See
where you
about some
command,
halflings?
master.
To the halflings! Hoisting my staff triumphantly into the air again. We head west.
Get up, you lazy bastards. Master says march. Now you march.
What's happening?
It's uncomfortable, isn't it? So, you march, and a few hours later, not a few hours later actually, closer to like 8 hours later, near the end of your day, you end up in this little village. Literally a little village. Everything is halfling sized, and it is cute and quaint. There's these like, all the hills around here are kind of brownish, except near this little village. There's a large fountain in the middle of town, and all the grassy hills, which the halflings have built their homes in, are green. You don't know how they manage to maintain the green grass on the hills. Maybe they just like bucket the water up there every day or something, but it is this beautiful little green place.
Yeah. So we parade into town, probably disrupting the whole equilibrium of things.
Some little people, you can't tell if they're adults or children. And actually, you've met halflings. Some halfling adults come, poke their heads out their doors and talk to one another. Of course, you understand them, and it's like, "Oh, look at the tall man coming into town."
All right. I will approach. There's no like taverns or anything like that. These are just like people in their houses.
Yeah, they're all
So
they're all like Bag End. They're all the little circular doors and hills.
how do I find my Bilbo?
I think you have. I think his name is Reptar.
No, I'm gonna approach. I think I. Yeah. Oh, did we freeze?
No, we're here.
Oh, there we go. I stuttered for a second there. I'll approach one of these random houses if I can find one larger or maybe a friendlier halfling. I don't even know what I'm basing it off of, but hopefully it's random.
Give me a charisma check.
Oh. Getting these dice warm. Charisma's 11. Nope. I picked the wrong halfling, and I proceed to tap on the door with my staff.
The door opens, and out comes well, not out, but the door opens, revealing a very plump halfling woman. She's got glasses on, her face is kind of wrinkled. She definitely looks older than most of the, an elder halfling. And she goes, "Oh my!" in halfling. "Look at the big man!" And then in bad comment, she goes, "Hello there."
I squat down and reply in halfling, "Hello there, ma'am."
"Oh, why, you speak the tongue. How lovely to see you." I would offer you in, but the last time I offered a tall man into my room, into my house, he bumped his head.
Well, I think I will fit quite nicely.
Are your friends coming too? Dearie me, I don't know if I have enough room for all of you.
They can fend for themselves, right, Reptar?
We will stay.
I say in common. They'll stay. I don't know if I have enough iron for the lot of us.
Iron?
Very well. Oh, actually, I never declared whether I've memorized enlarge or reduce today.
Which did you...
I don't know. Reduce was what I was thinking. I've got color spray and let's roll a d2.
Is color spray actually a dimensional spell?
No, it's not.
As enlarge?
So one is enlarge. Yes, enlarge reduce is my only dimension spell. So I have enlarge, so I can't shrink myself and fit into this hobbit hut.
You could make her bigger.
And I will do just that.
Do you cast enlarge on the woman?
yes, I will. So I'm going to start changing these words and reach into my pouch and pull out my little iron powder, my fairy dust.
As you do so, in the background, you're vaguely aware of her saying something like, "Oh, dearie me, I think you've picked the wrong language there, lad. I I don't seem to understand a word you're saying. And then...
And yeah, I guess I'm already casting the spell, so I don't have a... I don't get to explain until after it goes off.
Nope.
But I sprinkle her with a pinch of powdered iron, and she grows, increasing in size and weight by 10%.
Mm-hmm.
10%.
There's like a... Whoop. Actually, I think she gets a saving throw versus spell.
Yes, she does.
She enlarges. Right,
That's
halflings don't get
that's not what I was aiming for. We were supposed to shrink.
What? Oh my! Look at. How did you do that? Are you a sorcerer? Are you a wizard? Mind you, we don't take kindly to your kind here. Now, put me back at once. Coming into my room, my own home, and bewitching me and befuddling me. And, oh, humans are such nerve.
So I suppose that means there's no tea then.
Absolutely not. She steps a little bit closer to you. You're kind of squatting down, so now her big belly is brushing your knees. And she
10%
says,
larger belly.
she stomps her foot and says, "Make me back to my normal size."
I'm afraid you'll be this way forever. I've permanently stretched the fabrics of space and time.
Why?
Or rather, you broke them.
She storms off in a
Fabrics
huff, leaving the door to her house open as she storms off and like starts jogging or running. It's more of a jog down the road, yelling out, "Wizards are coming! Wizards are coming! Hide your children!"
I peer inside the little halfling hut.
It's fairly spacious for a small area. It's quite quaint. There's lots of comfy sitting chairs that are made out of old woods. There's a little fire going in the hearth with a pot of water boiling over it. It smells like cinnamon and spice in there.
I think I head inside and help myself to some tea. I crawl inside. How high is the ceiling?
Like 5 feet. So you can like duck and squat and like...
and track down the source of the cinnamon spice.
It is cinnamon tea that is being brewed. There's a cup of it steeping by the fire on a little table.
Only one cup?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can find another cup.
Yeah, there's other cups around, and you can find some tea, and you can find all the tools for making many cups of tea.
Yeah, I start making cups of tea as I
For all
enjoy
your
the
slaves.
first. I enjoy the first cup of tea, and then I start making cups of. I make a cup of tea to replace the one that I borrowed, and then I just start making more and more cups. And
well,
I guess pass that to the slaves.
While the tea is being made, 3 halflings march up to you guys. To you, your slaves are still outside. They come up to the door and peer in. One of them has a short sword in his hand, ready, but it's kind of shaking a little bit. He has no armor whatsoever. The guy behind him has a pitchfork, but it's like a wooden pitchfork. There's no metal to it whatsoever. And the guy behind him, or beside him, I guess, has just like a club, like a big stick he found.
I approach them with tea in hand, or have I not? Do I not yet have cups brewing?
You have a couple cups done, but more need to be steeped.
Yeah. I crawl towards them in gibbering halfling. I say, "Well, you're just in time. Here, have a cuppa."
Stay back! Stay back! I have a sword. I know how to use it.
I approach him with a cup of tea.
He shakes the sword in your face, menacingly, but maybe a little.
I think
not that intimidating.
I boldly walk right up to him and hand him a cup of tea. If he would like to make an attack, I suppose I'm in reach.
What is your reaction adjustment?
Ooh, not great. I think 0.
Where is... You are very friendly. He is appropriately threatening, but not hostile. 2 away from being hostile.
He almost shanked me. Is very friendly an option?
No, it's just friendly.
Okay. Friendly with tea.
He kind of knocks at the cup in your hand, and if you're not holding on tightly, it'll fall to the ground and shatter.
I think it falls and shatters. I say, well, that just won't do.
Now you must unturn the lady. Return her to her normal size at once.
It only lasts 5 rounds. So
Yeah,
she may
but
yeah.
by the time she told them, it hadn't quite been 5 rounds, and she's off.
Oh, I'm afraid it's quite irreversible.
Well,
Tea? And I say to the guy with the pitchfork.
well, then get out of our town. Get out! I say. The one with the pitchfork says, he seems so friendly. Maybe she was wrong. And the guy with the club kind of shoves the guy with the sword forward a little bit and says, "Stick him! Stick him!"
Stick 'em. Good heavens, no! And I scamper back to the kitchen.
They step in, kind of forming a line.
Where
in
are
the
the
living
are
room.
the slaves outside?
They're still outside.
Mm-hmm.
What is your purpose here, strange man? We have no money. We have no houses built for you.
Yes, this is all very.
What are your
Not quite what I was
demands?
expecting. When I read about you in school, you seemed so much more lively and exciting.
I
Where's the music? Where are the pipes? The flutes and the drums. Where's that the elves?
I they look a little stunned. They're expecting some sort of threatening, menacing, dark wizard who would turn them into newts, and instead you're this really nice, friendly guy. And they seem a little stunned. The guy with the club looks like he's ready to go, though. He looks pretty pissed.
I have a color spray in my back pocket. I could render them literally stunned.
Mhm.
But
I say again, what is your purpose here? Are you here to bewitch the whole town? Have you already bewitched us?
I walk past them out the door, and as I do, I whisper to him, "Whatever you do, don't check your left pocket." And
He stumbles back a little bit.
skip on by.
Um,
I head out the door.
okay. You see
So-
the halfling woman coming down the road towards you with just a gaggle of other halflings behind her.
She normal sized.
She's back to her normal size, including what looks to be a cleric or a priest of sorts. He has a large
little
amulet
priest.
dangling from his neck and a big ornate walking staff with him. He has big, fancy blue hat and silver shoes and robes. The woman points to you and says, "That's the one!" What did you do with my grandson? Did you kill them? He killed my grandson! He killed them all!
I start casting a color spray. Casting have 1. That's like emergency defense.
It's fast.
Yeah.
He's doing
Right,
it!
so she-
He's bewitching us! She cries. Roll
Alright,
me.
as I spew forth my powdered sand, red, yellow, and blue, I
right.
shout, "Killer, where? Get them!"
Roll me a d6.
What do I? D6 creatures, yes. It's not a lot of halflings. How many are in this village? 3. So hopefully I throw this at like her and the priest and maybe one innocent bystander.
Yeah.
Increase
They get hit with it and just fall to the ground.
Six hit. Yeah, I guess there's no. If he's a 6th level priest or higher, he gets a saving throw.
Oh, the halflings break and run. They all flee back to their little halfling holes in terror.
Those hit dice are levels are less than or equal to. So if they're 1 hit die, it's 2d4 rounds.
They are less than 1 hit die creatures.
Yeah. A couple of rounds. So I've got the priest, the woman who owns the house, and just a random halfling lying unconscious in front of me. Reptar, bring our house guests inside. And I crawl back into the little halfling hut.
Okay.
Is the swordsman and the clubman?
They're in the hut discussing things with you.
Okay.
Reptar says, Ranuli, Orwell, Albad, grab those 3. Bring them inside.
Okay, so we bring the unconscious bodies inside, and I continue to make tea for the lot of them.
Okay.
So there will be tea waiting for them when they wake up.
The 3 inside, as you walk in, throw up their weapons again, and the seeming leader with the sword, says, I ask you again, what is your purpose here? Why have you come?
Why, we came for tea.
You've come all the way just for tea?
I shrug.
Why did you bewitch my aunt?
Oh, is that your aunt?
My aunt, his grandmother, and his stepmother.
You might want to check on her. She fainted.
Maybe she misjudged the situation. You seem like a really nice guy. And he puts down his sword. The guy with the pitchforks puts his down as well. The guy with the club keeps it up. Still not quite convinced of your genuine and sweet nature.
Well, we make tea for everyone.
Okay.
I do not have any relevant proficiencies, so maybe I butcher the tea.
Well, it's pretty hard to butcher tea. Give me 2d4 to see how many rounds those guys are asleep.
Yeah. Four minutes.
Okay. It's partway through the tea making process. They wake up.
I try to be like rushing to their side with tea as they're waking up. You gave us such a scare! Father, are you alright? I think you hit your head on the way down.
Ugh. What? Wait. We're alive?
Here, have
You
some
haven't
tea.
eaten us yet?
Not yet. Ooh, just kidding. I give him an elbow and a rough elbow to the ribs.
Marigold, I don't think he's quite the monster you thought he was. But look at him with all those slaves with him. They must be his conquests from his previous, or victims of his former conquests.
Nonsense. These are my adventuring companions.
Slaves!
Say, do you have any crumpets to go with this tea?
Oh, I think she has some over here, says one of the unconscious guy. And he just walks into her kitchen. She protests, but after a little while, just stops.
Do the slaves wait outside, or are they?
They bring the bodies in, and then Reptar sent them back outside.
Okay, so they're just hanging out on the porch. They're not
Yeah.
crammed into this little halfling house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have a whole bunch of halflings in a house. What do you want to do with them?
Abuse their hospitality and eat and drink their food.
Yeah.
I guess I have money now.
Give me a charisma check just to see how general associations go over the course of hours.
Nope. I overstay my welcome.
It's a little bit weird. You did grow her and then, knock her out and other stuff.
It's like the middle of the night now. Oh no, it's evening time or it's nighttime?
Yeah, it's getting near evening. 'Cause, 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 'cause What what do you want to do?
I guess after I've eaten and drinking their tea, if I'm still getting bad vibes from the halflings, I'll probably head outside.
The woman seems to not be happy with you, and her relatives seem a
Yeah,
little.
I got that impression.
The priest doesn't seem to mind too much. He's pretty chill.
So, priest, I'm thinking of heading north to the mountains. Have you ever
Ooh,
seen them?
I can see them from here. They're a very dangerous place. What is your objective there? What do you seek?
A different vantage.
Hmm.
They look very tall.
They are indeed. I don't think anyone has ever climbed them.
Rubbish.
No, no. They were thrown down during the Great Cataclysm.
Cataclysm, you say? Perhaps if I had taken a history proficiency, I would know something about this.
Mm-hmm.
But alas, I was too busy studying my numbers. Well then. To the mountains it is. Would you care to join us, good priest?
I don't think so. No, no.
Very well, your loss, your loss. We can have some tea when it's all done. Cheerio. And I
It's getting dark. Where are
step
you
out.
staying for the night? I don't think there's any buildings in town that would fit you aside from the church.
Can we not make the mountains?
Well, it's getting dark now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's utterly unrealistic. I realize
Yeah.
that out of character.
no, no. The mountains are far away. It's some 15 miles to their base.
Yes, but what if you folded the very earth, nay, space itself,
Do you seek to
so that
destroy the
so that,
world?
so that the peak of the mountain were right here on top of this, outside of this front door, and I swing the door wide open.
There's no
Why
mountain.
you could traverse 20 miles in but an instant.
I do not understand the witchcraft you speak of.
That would have been much better in a German accent. And much better if I could have a German accent.
Hmm.
We'll work on it. It's all
Well,
coming out Russian Elven,
Well,
Neo Elven.
I wish you the best of luck. Do come and stay in the church, though. You must be tired. And we have not shown you the greatest of hospitality, although I think in this situation that is a little understandable. We're normally a very friendly folk.
Yeah. Very well. Is there room in this church for all of my companions?
For your slaves? Yes, yes. It is a barbaric ritual, though.
Oh, they're not my slaves.
No, you're transporting them for someone?
Aren't we all?
No, no, I don't have any slaves.
Well, I don't either. That makes two of us. Come,
chuckles.
Reptar. We're going to the church. Come, Reptar. We're going to the church.
All right.
There we go. That's the accent I needed.
Yeah. So you guys get to the church and bed down for the night, and I think we're going to end here and pick up next week. No, next week is marathon week.
We'll do some D&D. This is probably more appropriate for the marathon. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to I Sing with Death this week.
Yeah. And the week after that is Thanksgiving, so I doubt you'll want to play D&D at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. That's a little dinner
No, but maybe we
time.
can do some other D&D something that week.
Yeah, we can figure out a better D&D day. Cool. So that has been Dyson with Death, guys.
Yeah, something like Dicing with Death. Pretty tired, so it's been a
Yeah,
weird role play session, but
it's been something.
it's been
Uh,
something. Do I get XP for KOing a couple of or a couple of halflings?
yeah, I'll give you maybe not for KOing them, but for disarming the halfling threat in town. I'll give you 100 experience. Wasn't a big threat.
Woohoo!
I'll give you 100 experience for your decision making regarding slaves and all that
What
stuff.
decision making?
Well, you
What
could
decisions are
have
made?
taken them as your own. You could have just set them free and told them to go away. You could have left them there. There was a moral choice to be made.
Yeah.
And part
And instead,
of,
I didn't make a choice. I set them free, and I didn't take them as my own. We'll see what
yeah,
happens.
but still, part
For
of
now, we're the merry parade.
it's a life experience. So it's worth 100 experience points. So I think you get a total of 200,
Plus 10% bonus.
a 220.
Long way to level 2.
Mm-hmm. Well,
All
I guess
right.
that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's that, and we'll see you
Yeah.
guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry
Yeah,
for a little funky episode, but it
yeah, it was
happens.
great.
Yeah.
I have our
It
first
was.
18-int wizard.
Yep. Rolled in Neil chat.
All right. Bye bye, everyone. Good night.